Before Isaac could open my door, I jumped out, instantly recognizing the open plan bar, none other than my favorite place, ultraviolet. As if Isaac studied my reaction, I picked a good place. My gaze shifted to his form, instantly smiling the best. Isaac was about to walk in before I stopped him midway, my hands placed firmly on his muscular chest, the bulk of his muscles prominent under my palms, making me itch to go further. Restraining myself is going to be hard. You aren't going in looking like that, I stated, taking a step back. Why not, he questioned, arching his eyebrow in confusion. Because you look like you don't belong here. Take off your jacket and fold up your sleeves. Fussy much, Isaac mumbles. Always. When he was done, I couldn't help the fact that my jaw dropped. Rolling up his sleeves revealed his defined veins that strained against his forearms. Better, he gestures. Too much. I hold back a moan, tugging on my bottom lip because he is by far the most ethereal man I have ever came across. He shook his head with a smile at my behavior. We both walked inside, the stench of alcohol and seawater, consuming the fibers in my body. It is refreshing yet soothing at the same time. The ceiling was open, revealing the beautiful stars that filled the sky while the open plan let the cool air in. I gripped Isaac's hand, since he hasn't been here, and pulled him towards the wooden bar. Anthony, can I get 2 shots of tequila? No, hello, nothing, just a man's. Damn, I feel used, he mocked, putting his hand over his heart as if I hurt him. Obviously, you should know this by now, I chuckle. He rolled his chocolate eyes before running his fingers through his dirty blonde hair. Remind me why we are friends again, he scoffs before pouring the tequila into the glasses. Because you love me, I boasted, ruffling his hair. With them coming, earning my attention to Isaac, he was stunned at my behavior. You seem well acquainted with this place. Lucky for you, this happens to be my favorite place, I grinned, playing with his biceps. Fuck, they are huge and defined. I wonder what else is huge. Pushing the shot towards him. Cheers. We both down our shots. Oh, so you can handle your liquor, Isaac, I laugh. Question is, can you, sweetheart? His voice smoky as if he was running his soft lips all over my skin. Yes, we will find out. Anthony placed a couple shots in front of us and we began our competition, who could finish the fastest. Of course I won. Come on, let's play pool, I announced, dragging him to the empty pool table at the end of the room. Thankfully, it was near the open scenery of the beach, the indulging breeze making my body relax at the touch. Clouded thoughts. I didn't see Isaac setting up the balls. Once he was done, I decided it was best to put a wager on this. Say, let's make this interesting. How about if I win, you have to go on a second date with me? His voice raucous, daring me to challenge his superiority. If I win, you have to go jump in the ocean with only your boxers. Deal, a smug expression on his face. Well, Isaac, you have no idea what you just did. As I shoot the last ball into the hole, I couldn't help the gloating at my victory. Yes, you lose, sweetheart. We leveled each other. How did you never underestimate Miss Dawn Ackles, I praise. He glided his fingers through his now ruffled obsidian locks in defeat. I believe you have a bet to partake in. Isaac huffed in aggravation before following me to the pecan-colored deck, the midnight sky decorated with sparkling stars as the smoke contrasted against the moon reflected onto the indigo ocean as the air left feathery kisses all over my skin and stepping onto the gritty sand. We walked down the hustle and bustle from the bar, becoming less and less dominant. Isaac and I seemed to be the only people enjoying a stroll onto the beautiful sandy beach. Our feet were dunked in the water as it retreated around our ankles. My eyes gravitated towards Isaac. They were almost black against the lighting of the moon. Are you not a man of your word? Those words. He started to unbutton his dressed shirt. When he removed it, nothing prepared me for what my eyes were feasting upon, the ridges of his muscles contouring every angle of his body. A burning ache urging me to lick every inch of his creamy skin. Why do I get the feeling that this was your plan all along? He voiced, questionable towards my agenda. You will never know. Isaac cracked a smile before unzipping his slacks. Sliding them down, you could see his muscular thighs taut and ready for action. Was he built like a trainer? As damn. What caught my attention were his gray-colored boxer briefs, which were Calvin Klein. The firm, distinct outline beneath them had captured my full attention, crowding out every other thought until it was all I could focus on. Eyes up here, sweetheart. It's a free country, my eyes can roam wherever they please. Be careful there, you might see things you don't want to, he whispers as if he didn't want me to hear his words. Well, are you going in or not? You so owe me after this." At those words, he ran into the ocean, his ripped body reflecting all his back muscles as he took off. Isaac didn't even flinch at the icy water. He indulged in the sensations that were playing around his body, an involuntary smile appearing on his lips. His troubles disappeared once he stepped into the cold. "From what I can see, you are enjoying this way more than I am," I screamed as he pushed against the waves. "Dawn, get in. It's so much fun." I couldn't let him have all the fun stripping off my jeans. I left my top on since I didn't have a bra. Before I could talk myself out of it, the wild side of me decided to join him in this adventure. Prickling tingles engulfing my body as I chattered my teeth from the intensity. "What the fuck, it's so fucking cold," I screamed, maybe being a little too dramatic, but this shit was cold. Scorching arms wrapped themselves around me before a blazing fire covered my back. "Shh, I got you," he reassures, his voice velvety against my ear. Hot breath against my neck instantly warmed up my body. Our fun was just beginning as I shifted in his arms, pressing my backside against him and readjusting my position. A warm, firm pressure met me almost instantly, and I knew I accomplished my goal. Before he could do anything, I escaped his arms and splashed water against his face. Isaac became energized at this, and we both splashed water at each other, trying to dunk the other person. My makeup for sure got ruined, and I must be looking like a raccoon by now. "I think we should go, it's getting pretty late," Isaac stated, swimming towards shore, and I followed. We neared our clothes. We realized our mistake. We probably should have thought this through. "It was your idea. I only meant for you to go, not for me to join." "Well, just put your clothes on, and I'll put the heater on in the car." Like we both had a choice, sprinting towards his vehicle in our soaked clothes, Isaac and I avoided the bar, not like we didn't attract unwanted attention. Cracks of laughter slipped through my lips. Within a few seconds, Isaac joined me in our childish antics. When we neared his car, I practically threw myself inside, toasting up the environment. Isaac joined me, rubbing his biceps ever so slightly. God, they looked delectable. I wanted to ravish upon those huge mountains. "On, snap out of it," Isaac clicked, his flaming breath fanning against my mouth. The smell of tequila filling him, and I didn't mind at all. Here, Isaac interrupted, draping his formal jacket over my shivering figure. "But about you, aren't you going to feel cold?" My voice coming out thick, laced with concern for his well-being. A smile formed on his lips, heavy with emotion, as his eyes revealed something I wasn't quite sure of. "Don't worry about me, I'm used to the cold." At those words, he placed his heated palm against my freezing cheek, the opposition attracting all the molecules in our body as tingles filled themselves within me. Sensations that ran through my body ignited fire. This feeling is addictive. The tingles, yet the pleasant stinging. Isaac cleared his throat before starting the engine, and reversing out the song, "A Little Death" by The Neighborhood started to play, and I cranked the volume up, music erupting through the speakers. Ironically, the lyrics reflected what was going on in my incoherent brain. "Touch me, yeah, I want you to touch me there, make me feel like I am breathing," I sang. The lyrics were relatable in various ways to me as I continued to sing the words to the beat. Isaac turned his attention to me for a second. "You like The Neighborhood?" His throaty voice harsh as Isaac felt agitated with the itch. "Love them, do you know them?" Of course, I never met someone who knew of them. He smiled, enthusiasm clearly present in his voice. "Yeah, favorite song?" I raised my eyebrow. Was he really a fan? "Afraid," he muttered, turning his focus to the road fully. Lyrics hit close to home. "Yes." At that, I didn't bother to press extensive questions his way. I knew the lyrics to the song, therefore I understood his reasoning. "The topic is personal and it affected him deeply." Silence filled the Lamborghini. "Well, mine is sweater weather." "Why is that?" "To me, it's as if you are carefree. You get to travel anywhere with people and just have fun together." The thought made me smile at my recent fantasies of traveling with Summer and just going crazy. Also get that feeling when I listen to the song, like you just want to break free and make your own rules. His voice in a daze, as if he was imagining the thought of escaping reality. "Guess we have a lot in common." "I guess we do." The conversation flowed. Our own karaoke session played out, but he wasn't that bad. As soon as the night started, it ended fairly quickly. Isaac and I jumped out of the car that was parked outside Summer's house. Tugging his jacket closer to me, we walked to the doorstep as I fumbled for the keys. Unlocking it, I turned my attention to Isaac. "Well, it was a pleasure, Mr. Salvatore. Who knew a guy like you would know how to have fun?" "Hey, I am plenty fun," he protested. "Cherie, I chuckled before turning to go inside. A tug on my wrist stopped me. My attention focused on Isaac. This was such a wonderful night, probably the most fun I have ever had, his smooth thumb rubbing circles on my hand. "Would you like to do this again?" he asked with pleading eyes. How could I say no to the thrill? "You're something else, Don Ackles," he whispered before leaning in. His plump lips closing the distance, I thought he was going to kiss me, but instead he placed a soft, feathery kiss on my cheek. "Good night, Miss Ackles," he winked before turning around and walking to his car, his hands fully enclosed in his pockets. "What have you gotten yourself into, Don?"
Sipping my glass of whiskey, I analyzed the various people standing outside the club, each one of them engrossed in their own happy lives, content with their lives as it is. Upon our doors streamed the radiance of a vixen. She is a mixture of sugar and spice. Her tongue left comments that played on your mind, while her soul became a drug for many. Ginning through the glass, her pearl tank top brightened the night sky as her tight-ripped jeans emphasizing her curves. The grunge black boots screamed danger, while her signature lipstick echoes a warning. After a few seconds, a familiar Lamborghini pulled up directly in her field vision. Isaac cautiously stepped out before rounding to her direction. Dressed to impress in his statement suit, Isaac exchanged a few words with her before intertwining their hands and ushering towards the car. Opening her door as the gentleman he pretends to be, he rounded to his side, but not before throwing a smug expression in my direction. He knew I was watching, and he thinks that he has the advantage. Not in any lifetime will you ever be above me.
Summer could not stop yapping on and on about the wonders that is Isaac Salvatore. Couldn't say I wasn't doing a little dabbling in that court. The guy is an absolute gentleman beyond compare, but what I enjoyed the most was our beach time and the way he gave me his coat, sacrificing his own warmth. Coat smelled of him, the rich, strong scent and a splash of bourbon. I could dive into that intoxicating scent. He would get his jacket back, eventually. "Hi, babe." Another day at the club. Serving pigs and sneaking drinks. "I'm coming there one of the days. It's like a club for attractive men," she pouted, tapping her chin as if she was fantasticating about the many adventures she was going to conjure up. "Well, if you can get into the other section that I served in. Now that's like a festival of reigning men in suits," I whistle. "Dudeyogottogottemein," she screamed before running from her bedroom to the door. "WHATSORRYGOTTAGO, I'm LATE," I lied, quickly closing the door behind me and speed walking a couple blocks away from the house. "Bitch," I heard her yell. Couldn't help the smile that took over. Summer knew how to make me laugh. One of the many reasons we are best friends. Nothing says I love you better than interrogating your bestie about where to find these magical men. My little workout came to an end when I graciously stepped into the back door. Clanking of glasses and the setup were in progress as I rounded to the bar, dumping my bag underneath the counter in the cubicles. "See, you have the early shift today," Jax piped. I stood up before giving him a hug. Sadly, I like the night shift better. Jax handed me a cloth and I started to wipe the counter down. "Well, you did leave early last night. This is your punishment," he chuckled. Touch. The day flowed by fairly smooth. Jax and I took our smoke break a couple minutes late. Before retreating, Jax said he was called to set up in the other room. So, I was currently by myself with a few people on the other side. These were the gossipers of the employees, always interested in other people's business. Occasionally they would look at me and whisper remarks before laughing. I would flash them my best smile before flipping them the middle finger. "On, Mr. Black wants to see you," Matthew robotically relayed. "Hi, to you, to Matthew. I'm sorry, force of habit. No problem, but don't be like an answering machine with me. We are friends, I expect the human side to come out," I joke. Earning a grin and even a chuckle was a job well done. Walking up to his office, it registered that we haven't seen each other since the breathless, tangled moment we shared in the elevator. Just because he is the almighty wealthy businessman didn't mean I was going to bend at his will. Sadly, no one could control me, that's for fucking sure. Matthew opened the door before gesturing me in. I stepped into his familiar office as the door closed. Matthew left me alone, walking me into the lion's den. The leather chair turned, revealing the dangerous beast. Walnut highlights striking as the rays of sun landed on his hair, while his inky-colored eyes became alive, intensifying the color while a string pulled you towards the hypnotizing gaze. His one hand placed on his creamy chin before his berry-stained lips pushed up into a grin. "Are you done checking me out?" His voice laced with honey, the pleasant sound sending shivers down my spine, but I knew not to trust such a hair-raising sound. Regaining my composure, "State the reason that you called for me. I do have a lot of work to get back to." His expression flared at the disrespect but also slight amusement in his opposing lips. "Need I remind you I gave you this job, therefore I have the power to take it away?" This was probably the time for me to shut my mouth, although my comments were just on the tip of my tongue, itching to be let out. I could feel my nails digging into my palm, even though I antagonized people. It didn't mean I wouldn't put up a battle of lethal remarks that would leave a scar. "What is the reason for my presence, Mr. Black?" Grinding my teeth together, the irritation feels uncomfortable. "Request to take you somewhere. Keep in mind you are not allowed to say no." Did he really just demand something from me? Last time I checked, this is a free country, and I do have the right to oppose your mindset on the situation. His eyes seemed to glisten at the argument and the state of mind I was currently in. "It's either a yes or you lose your job," he smugly states. The man had all the power in this situation. To anyone else this wouldn't matter, a job wouldn't matter because you would be able to get another one. But I have no special skills and the pay from here is more than any simple job I can get. I wasn't about to depend on Summer for my needs when she has already done enough by opening her home to me. So yeah, this job did mean a lot to me and the pay is really good. I would be able to find an apartment in 2 months. I huffed in defeat. When should I be ready? No emotion in my tone. I could care less where he takes me. "Tomorrow night after your shift," the tone soft like silk running across your body. Noted. I turned and approached the door, leaving no room for him to continue the conversation. Now I had a date with the beast, front row seats to his killing. What could go wrong? Today is the date. Serving drinks to the couple who cannot stop sucking each other's faces doesn't bring any sort of excitement to my body to be with Elijah. My shift is almost over, and I will have to endure an awful night with Elijah. Oddly enough, giddiness would run through me at the prospect of flirting, but after that night with Isaac, there isn't anyone else captivating my attention besides him. His voice appeared out of nowhere. "Miss Ackles, I believe it's time for us to leave." He emerges from the dark, like a demon from the shadows. I can't deny that he is indeed attractive in a suit, but all men are. I guess so. Grabbing my bag, I follow Elijah, who didn't bother to wait for me. We walk towards another door at the back of the club. I was only aware of the door that leads to the alleyway. Elijah pressed his finger onto a scanner that turned green. A soft beep went off and the door opened. The door led to an underground parking, only there were no cars around. What the fuck is going on? It's my own personal parking. Haven't you ever wondered why you don't see me leave? He quizzed, walking towards the only car behind the beam. What makes you think that I pay attention to what you do? Opened the door to his sleek black Lycan Hypersport. You just know how to hurt me, Don, Elijah sarcastically states. The car is beyond beautiful. It feels like I'm staring at jewels. The golden streaks at the side. You getting in? Elijah jumped into the driver's seat while I composed myself. If it was up to me, I wouldn't even go, I mumble. Jumping into the magnificent car, Elijah turned on the engine and I felt like I was in a movie. The roar of the engine rattling my bones, causing a grin to form on my lips. The intensity of this vehicle gave me chills. Elijah drove with intent, studying my reactions as he pushed the car to the speed limit, and I was totally relishing in the moment of adrenaline. The midnight sky is a blank canvas, unlike the night before when it was covered in stars. I didn't notice, but at the time when we left the parking, we came out of a building blocks down from eternity. I own that building, he voices, reading my thoughts. Don't you have money to burn? I sarcastically spit. A devious smile formed on his lips. Maybe I do. So, where does a guy like you earn all this money from? It's definitely not from the club. We all have secrets, love. Can't give them all away now. Elijah's right. Secrets are kept for a long time, but they also resurface at the worst time, when life is finally falling into place. That's when secrets come out and fuck us all up. Elijah continued his journey of driving to the city. The buzzing of the night wasn't shocking. People tend to come alive in the nighttime. All the cars around us couldn't compare to the one we were in. A smooth ride, yet the intensity of the speed becoming an addiction. The restraint he has to not drive to the max baffled me. The city lights among the skyscrapers were glorifying, the array of colors blending in perfect harmony. Opening my window and I felt as if I could touch the never-ending contrast of the city. Elijah drove to the largest establishment, the tinted windows running to the top. We jumped out at the entrance. Elijah gave his keys to a guy dressed in slacks and a white golf shirt. The name of the place, Dal Pescatore, and we walked in. This place seemed so ethereal. There, where crystal lights hung from the ceiling, falling into a pattern of waves. Among the tiny crystal lights were medium-sized ones that hung under each table. My sneakers squeaked against the gray mosaic tiles, while my eyes scanned the various elegant people seated at the peanut-colored tables. You could see the whole city through the windows. There is caramel-colored walls decorated in lace patterns, while a display wall of blocks of crystals in the middle of the room. The combination of cobalt and daisy within those blocks. Didn't even notice Elijah following a lady to a table near the open view. We took a seat on the modern armchairs, plush red pillows situated behind us. The table had candles lit in between while our cutlery is situated on either side of the 3-tier plates. Elijah uttered a few words to the brunette waitress before she retreated to her other tables. Everything became overwhelming. This place made me uncomfortable. I didn't belong here. So, what do you want to drink? Elijah questioned, his voice slipping to a state of unawareness. Wine or whiskey? Both is highly needed right now, I stated, in some serious need of intoxication. Elijah chuckled, a sexy smile forming on his plump lips. The coarse tone to his laugh indulged every part of your skin. He called the waitress and ordered something in another language, and she later came back with a glass of red wine and 2 glasses of burnt amber liquid. My lips itching for more of the whiskey, the first sip burning my throat but yet satisfying my need to calm my nerves. I gulped the liquid and then started to sip the wine, savoring the sweet, dry taste of it. Elijah had a surprised expression. What? Haven't you seen a girl drink before? Not the way you drink. Well, you surround yourself with uptight girly girls. What do you expect? I laughed. Did he not notice that all his flings are sarcastic bitches that don't like bitter things? But if that's the case, why do they lap up every crumb of his attention, hungry for the heat only he can offer? Instantly shut him up, but I do think he had a snarky comment on his tongue. The amount of alcohol I am consuming did not help my situation. What do you want to eat? I picked up the menu, opening the cover, and was instantly faced with cuisine that I couldn't even pronounce. Everything is foreign. This isn't a language I speak. There are only 2 that I do, and I know this isn't one I'm familiar with. I would kill for cheeseburger right now. You know what you choose. I'm good with the whiskey or whatever wine this is. I faked, occupying my mouth with the drinks. Elijah ordered. The way he pronounced each dish came naturally on his tongue. On his thick, hot tongue that had once traced the hidden edges of my desire, leaving me dizzy and reeling. I am so drunk. Go on, you're staring, Elijah interrupted, his syrupy tone making me fall. Not at you, that's for sure. You were looking right at me, he boasted. Oh please, I was looking at the guy behind you. He's cute. Elijah turned to the attractive man dressed in a suit. He appeared to be in his late 30s, but the man's features gave him a youthful appearance. His olive skin mixed well with this jet black hair and matching beard, the intense indigo eyes breaking barriers against anyone's will. The guy looked in our direction before his features hardened, but as I looked at Elijah's side profile, his expression mirrored. An intense battle continued for 2 minutes, while I sat in a daze. Our food arrived, apparently. He ordered a white pasta drowned in sauce. The food lit up my taste buds at the creamy cheese mixed with the smooth texture of the chicken. The atmosphere prickled my skin that I couldn't wait to leave this judgmental place. But the food was amazing. Elijah and I drew our chairs and walked out of the restaurant. I was more than ecstatic for this night to be over, leaving the unwanted attention at the door. Continued to walk until Elijah requested for his car, which pulled up a few seconds later. I will never get tired of drooling over this magnificent vehicle. He started the engine. "So, you got what you want. Can I go home now?" I questioned, staring into his abyss. "Not quite. I have one more thing to do, and you are going to accompany me." Engine roared and he took off to the darkest part that rooted within the city. Oh boy, I'm in for a ride. The ride to the neon-flashed building was riveting, the fierce feeling erupting throughout my body, electrifying my senses. Elijah pulled up to the entrance. The extended line of people waiting were even more than the club I worked at. 3 bodyguards situated at the front. The people that were let in had to go through the velvet rope that the guards had control over. We drove to an alleyway which immediately revealed a brighten-up car park. Just like the one by Eternity, this one only had a few expensive cars parked. This just assured me that the Elijah is on another level. Opening the car door, we jumped out. Elijah walked towards the left, revealing 2 muscular men with golden locks and sparkling blue eyes. Both had a light shade of stubble coming in. They weren't dressed in suits like the ones at the entrance. These guys were dressed in slacks and a pearl dress shirt, their sleeves folded to their elbows, revealing matching tribal tattoos, as well as 3 thick strips going around their forearm. Their facial expressions were hard and screamed danger. Anyone that looked at them would instantly be intimidated. Elijah spoke a couple words to them before they opened the door. Their conversation was incoherent to my delicate ears. He ushered me in. Before we could leave, I walked up to the both of them. "Guys, you really need to smile more. I mean, you are definitely sexy now, but if you crack a smile or grin, you would be unstoppable, if you know what I mean." I winked before swaying my hips back to Elijah. Their eyes widened, mouth hung open in surprise. They were probably taken aback by the little tip I provided. Elijah seemed amused by my behavior. Clearly, he is getting used to my behavior. We continued our path through the dimly lit hallway that consisted of leather sofa designs on the scarlet wall. The enticing rhythm of music could be heard as my feet felt the vibrations of the music. As we neared the emerging music that started to drown my thoughts. It is the type of music that you would do ecstasy to. The flashing of neon colors constantly. Once we saw the magnitude of people within this club, I couldn't help but want to join their carefree exterior, no worries in the world. The only thing that mattered to them was how much they could drink and how long they could go on the dance floor. Suddenly, I felt a sizzling on my left hand. When I looked at my hand, I see it entwined with his. But when I look to him for answers, his attention is focused on the wandering crowd. He pulled me through the sweaty people grinding on each other on the magenta dance floor. Only did I notice how close we got to the bar is when Elijah started to climb the clear staircase to another secret level which was not occupied by the young adults we saw downstairs. This had 2 bodyguards dressed in the same attire as the guys at the entrance. If they had tattoos, you wouldn't even notice because they were covered up to their necks. I recognized Elijah instantly, moving aside and opening the door. The wave of alcohol and rich cigars filled my senses. It was all too familiar to say the least. I didn't expect was the layout of this place. It is more composed than downstairs. A round crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling, leaving it mysterious. Around the ball consisted of bright red and blue lights that enhanced the chandelier's effect. Lacy design featured walls at each stop of the caramel lounge sofas. In the middle situated a dark chocolate table with a rectangular-shaped box that consisted of a row of candles that were lit up. Behind each sofa, you could see the next 2 steps that led to the bar. Mostly girls dressed in cleavage, revealing skimpy, inky dresses that didn't stop them from serving their drinks. The railing had angel designs colored in flaxen. Elijah led me to bar. At the corner of my eye, I could see his attention focused on a group of dressed men. Each of them had a blonde-haired girl on their lap, a glass of whiskey or a cigar in one hand, and let's just say the other was either situated on an ass, boobs, or openly had a treasure hunt. "I have a meeting. Can you just stay by the bar or within this vicinity?" he pleaded, his voice authoritative. "No promises, Don. This isn't a game. Just don't leave this place," he urged. I shrugged him off before walking up to the bar, his footsteps retreating away from me. Sex looked like it took place on that dance floor, but the guys were attractive, therefore there was an exception in my eyes for them to act as douchebags. All the handsome ones always are. Switching my attention to one of the brunettes behind the bar, I requested a few tequila shots. Yes, they are all for me. As I downed the antagonizing liquid, I felt nostalgic. From my date with Isaac. The tugging on my heartstrings made my emotions switch to something of longing. Drinking alone wasn't my strategy now. Dawn Ackles never longs for anyone. This was all too freaky for my liking. The point that I was a little tipsy, I moved my ass to the dance floor. Slow rhythmic sounds blasted through the speakers. Swaying my hips from side to side, I lifted my arms above my head before seductively running them slowly down my body. My eyes snapped open, wondering to the group Elijah was currently in. I was met with darkness, the mysterious color turning different shades as he clutched his hands into fists. My eyes wandered to the other group of men. I found them staring my way. Elijah captured my attention as his beastly exterior twitched, a wicked vision that made me question what he would do to me. If anyone would have seen his expression, fear would course through their veins, but it only made me find him extremely mysterious, which I didn't like. I needed him to be transparent. The urge to use the restroom overtook me, exiting the dance floor. The restrooms were situated to the side of the bar. Walking into the imagery of a girl in a skirt, I was faced with hazelnut tiles and bowl sinks. Stepping into the stall, I did my business. Pulling my pants up, I flushed and exited. Washing my hands with the soap dispenser, the door suddenly swung open. From the angle I was in, I couldn't see who entered unless they came further in. You could distinctly hear their footsteps, like the sound of heels. Brushing it off, I went to get a paper towel to dry my hands before a hand clasped on my mouth. Terror consumed me, my body rigid at the contact, heavy stench of alcohol as the breathing against my ear intensified. "You will not scream or I will kill you." I nodded my head vigorously before carefully adjusting the angle of my hand to grab the pocket knife in my jeans. He spun me, pinning me against the wall. With sandy blonde hair and obsidian eyes, the young man looked overly intoxicated. His rough hands inched under my crop top. I hated this. Every moment of this feeling made bile rise up. I won't be helpless like I was. Grabbing my knife while his calloused fingers clamped down on the soft curve of my chest, I shoved the edge deep into his throat. Splashes of blood dots coating my face, he gurgled. Dropping his body to the ground, I ran to the door for my escape. That wasn't happening because 3 new men entered the ladies' room. I backed away from the auburn men, instantly running for my knife lodged in the guy's throat, panic enveloping my fibers. Before I could even reach it, hands encircled my waist, forcefully yanking me back and knocking my head flush against the tiles. My vision started to blur and a heavy feeling weighed on me. Horror flashed in my mind. I don't even know what's happening. The pit in my stomach growing increasingly uncomfortable while vomit came up to my mouth. Taste of indigested food spoiling my mind while unwanted hands roamed my body. "GTTHEFUCKOFFOFFMEYOUPIG," I yelled, pushing his hands away from my body. "SHUTUPYOUBITCH. GUYSHOLDHERDOWN," he motioned for his followers to comply. "She's a feisty one, I'm going to enjoy this," one voiced, yanking at my pants with greedy, violent force. "I will, ILLK, ILLALLOFYOU," anger consuming my body, the mix blending into a dangerous being. My body started shaking, tears streaming down my face. This can't happen again. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen. My heart beating erratically as prickling feelings wandered all over my body. I had to do something. Everything felt unbearable and horrifying. "Shut the fuck up, bitch." The guy between my legs tore off my top, leaving me exposed beneath a thin, flimsy layer of fabric. This is it, the most revolting thing that could happen again. My head started to ache from the intensity of tears that were falling. Repulsive is what I am. I wanted to throw up all over their faces. Before the guy could force past the last barrier of my clothes, the door broke apart. Another guy came in. "WHATTHEFUCKDOYOUTHINKYOUAREDOING," he yelled, the veins popping out from his throat. I recognized that voice anywhere, even in its harsh state. The sound of bones breaking and gunshots are all I could register. Suddenly, a coat covers my exposed skin, hands engulfing my body, tears flowing down my cheeks, bringing back all those painful memories. "Shh, I got you." Static consumed my vision. I lost control over my body and suddenly everything went black.
I continued to follow Dawn's movements, shots after shots. Initially, I didn't plan to leave her alone. It was supposed to be a quick in-and-out situation. Is she the one? Antonio questions. No, this is my employee. Looks awfully similar to the girl everyone is talking about, he theorizes. I assure you, she is a nobody. Diverting my attention from Dawn to Antonio, the auburn-haired woman on his lap, her fingers tracing a slow, teasing path from his chest down to the edge of his trousers, each brush a silent, bold invitation. My expression remained neutral, not providing any hint. They were all studying me, attempting to decipher the cracks in my lies, but they fail miserably. Suddenly, their attention is diverted to the dance floor. Taking a sip of my whiskey, I follow suit only to find Dawn being the center of their desires. She swayed her hips seductively to the beat of the music, her porcelain skin glowing under the atmosphere yet dampening in seduction. Dawn's hands skillfully inch up her body, caressing her curves in every angle that a man aches to touch, that I have touched. Those jeweled emeralds find me, the precious color suffocating the tension within my chest. Gleaming with mischief, she continues her playful assault, stirring a raw, unspoken restlessness in every man nearby, a quiet heat that hangs thick in the air around her. Dawn craved the attention, while I had an urge to control her, to dominate her very soul, stimulating each molecule within her. Everything about her is mysterious. She held secrets close to her, maybe never revealing those intimate parts of her life, and I wouldn't expect for her to. So fragile and delicate, yet so strong and confident. Many of these words were just purely scraping the surface of Dawn Ackles. Petite structure retreated away from the dance floor and to the corner of the restrooms. I followed her motions as she disappeared into the darkness, uneasiness raking my body. A few seconds as the conversations amongst the guys continued, my attention wandered to the one man who suspiciously entered the women's restroom, and within 2 minutes, 3 more. Excuse me, prickling feeling numbing my body. I knew those guys. They were dangerous and impulsive, reckless and insane. The definition of troubled. Don't ask me how they aren't in a mental asylum. My feet automatically speeded its tempo. A throbbing in my heart made me feel like something is wrong. Running to the ladies' room, I opened the door and the sounds of sobs filling my ears. I inched further in. The sight was horrific, terrorizing and life-altering. Dawn's clothes ripped off of her body as she was restrained from any mobile activity. I saw red, the anger I controlled just skyrocketed. Intense fire lit inside as my fists moved on their own accord, pounding each of them one by one, blood splashing everywhere as the sounds of bones cracking could be heard in the air. They were all laying bruised and beaten before they tried to come at me again. I took out my gun and shot them all in the heads. If it was up to me, I would torture them one by one, tear out their tongues, remove each tooth one by one, and continuously pull out their fingernails from the root. Fierce growl erupting from my throat as I took off my coat and let Dawn's arms slide through the hole, buttoning up the material. I picked her up and crushed her near my chest. Behind her body stood the first guy I saw enter, knife deep within his throat, while his eyes held no emotion, only one of death. Did she do that? Leaving no room to think, I covered her form before exiting the compound. I wasn't about to let her stay in this treacherous place. Carefully placing her shaking form in the passenger seat, I fastened her seatbelt when I heard a beg, "Not again, please." Silent cry, tears fell upon her creamy skin. She gripped my coat fiercely as if it was her lifeline. Speeding to my house outside the city, the grip on my steering wheel tightened. I left her vulnerable in my own club, and even though she could handle herself, she was outnumbered and the thought frightened me. As we pulled up to my estate, I parked the car in the garage. She laid still in the seat, eyes closed, carrying her sleeping figure. I opened the door and the silence immediately calming me. Moving straight to my room, I climbed the stairs carefully before reaching the door. Laying her upon my silk sheets, I pulled them over her. I didn't want to be invasive towards her privacy more than I already have. Risking her more so than I have, a pit in my stomach growing, restriction on my chest as I descended the staircase, walking towards the sofa. I poured myself a scotch, taking a seat on the black lounge suite. rubbing my temples. I huffed my frustrations out before gulping the golden liquid down, the burning sensations attaching themselves to my esophagus. About 2 hours later, Dawn came down, her eyes roaming the unknown. I feel for her. She sniffed a couple of times before her eyes trailed to the bottle of scotch. She poured herself a glass before downing that and pouring another. Clutching the glass in her grip, she sat on the couch opposite me, our orbs locked, an intense swirl of champagne and jade mixing, an imaginable connection creating, something we didn't even notice. Dipping our scotch broke the silence. Her composure is confident and powerful, as if the horrors did not take place. She didn't even bat an eyelash at the situation. Dawn is like a melody, perfectly aligned with each other. I don't want to talk about it, nor do I wish to be reminded of how helpless I was, she flatly replied, her monotone voice mellow. You weren't helpless, just overpowered. Exactly, she gritted, anger electrifying her gaze. Everything became bottled up inside of me, all the anger, hatred, and guilt. Each emotion dominantly taking over me before I could feel the glass shatter under my grip. Shards of glass stuck into my skin as crimson colors dripped down my fingers. You shouldn't have left. You should have just stayed where I told you to. Tostealwaysheld. She screamed, her tone harsh and croaked but still intense. You shouldn't have left my sight, Dawn chuckled. A dangerous move. Oh yeah, because I knew going to the restroom would cause such a commotion. I told you to listen to me. You should have. Oh, new At those words, she threw the glass at me. Ducking down, the glass hit the cream wall. I turned and watched the liquid fall down in slow motion before I saw her running towards me. Lunging at me, she pushed me onto the couch and started punching my face. For a girl, she knew how to manipulate her strengths. You stupid fucking asshole. Her tone brittle yet guttural. She was holding back the tears. As she was about to throw both of her fists at my chest, I gripped her tiny wrist, stopping the assault. STOPITDAWN. Tears welled up, clouding her olive green orbs. The painful reminders as her bottom lip trembled. Tinted cherry blossom lips, strawberry blonde strands falling onto her face, hiding her. Her gaze connected, an impassable request replaying. As if she became an empty void, they held no meaning. No sign of any remorse, only revenge. Yet, an intense mirror of missing pieces. She is broken. Harshly removing her wrists from my trap, she pushed up onto her sneakers, retreating to the further side of the room. You know what? You aren't worth it, she muttered, walking towards the glass door. She turned her back to me and placed her soft fingers on the doorknob. I asked the one question that played on my mind. Did this happen before? Body instantly froze. The fingers that were turning the knob stopped. Dawn stayed strong, no sign of emotion that would give an answer. Didn't you hear what I said? You aren't worth it. Meaning, even if I did have a story, you would be the last person I would tell.
Call the only person who won't make me uncomfortable, who will take my mind off of what just went down. Sweetheart, time for that second date already, Isaac teases. A smile instantly made its way onto my lips. He had that effect on me. Not exactly. I need a ride. What did you do now? He playfully hums. I chuckle. Why do you automatically assume that I did something wrong? Have you met yourself? He deadpans. Shay, can you please pick me up? Where are you, love? I hesitate, but I realize that I am not even certain where Elijah's house is located. Outside of Elijah's estate. Silence greets the line, if not for the fierce breathing. Are you there, Isaac? After a few seconds he replies, Yeah, I'm here. Don't go anywhere. I'm leaving now.